This is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. Namaskar, I'm Ashok Vyas and welcome to Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. And today's show is very special because we are going to be talking about the ways to make millions and also to make billions. And I have the pleasure of the presence of someone who interviewed 12 billionaires, talked to them and shared the secret of arriving at that state in the form of this book. Dr. Harsimran Singh ji is with me. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
You are a motivational speaker, you are a real estate guy, there are two important websites, spiritualdirections.org, and there's another one which is?
richimmigrants.com.
richimmigrants.com. So Rich Immigrants is really something that we all want or aspire to become. If you are watching ITV, probably you have come here from some other country. And not talking about the cliched thing, but still there are many, many people who have this kind of story that when they came here in America, they landed with $8 in their pocket, and now their journey is like a history. So let's talk about your journey and talk about the steps that led you to share experiences of rich people in the form of a book.
Well, like you mentioned that we all come from different backgrounds. I came into this nation in 1973 with $8 and did pretty good here. Was very happy and, but I want to share this happiness and this success with others so that others can succeed in life as well too. That's the reason I wrote 13 books, and one of them being How 12 Immigrants Made Billions. The important part of this book was that I interviewed the people who came into this nation not having even enough money for a bus token or a cup of coffee. Majority of them are those people. And how did they were so successful in life? So I analyzed their actions of life, what made them success, and critically analyzed it in a certain ways. That's where I wrote down 12 keys to success, as what was there that had it so much different than the rest of the people that they were so successful while others cannot make it.
Actually, I'm tempted to sort of interrupt, and there are some bullet points in this book. When I say bullet points, so you read them and they kind of challenges you. For example, this one, if you have not yet achieved the success you desire, make changes, not excuses. Now, if you hear something like this, you feel disturbed. Tell me where this come from, and
what I meant by doing that was that on every page I've given some kind of quotations written by me. By that I meant was that if you have not achieved success, that means you may not have achieved, there must be some failures, or you faced some obstacles in life. So try to learn from those mistakes as to what is it for next time you can do it, rather than getting discouraged, or I'm not going to do that. So that's the purpose of it.
So now moving.
Failure is a lesson. So I sometimes say that if you really want to succeed in life, double the rate of your failures, which is different than most times you hear it. But that's where you learn from your own mistakes, from your own failures.
Now let's talk about your own steps. Tell me when you felt that this situation is very difficult to overcome, and then you managed to transform the scene.
Well, really speaking, I'm not bragging about it. I welcome all the opportunities and I welcome all the obstacles in life. Wherever I use the word obstacle, next to it, I put down obstacle / opportunity. If you read my book, 26 Steps to Spiritual and Financial Riches, you'll find I written obstacle, next is opportunity. So obstacles and problems never bother me. I just learn from it and move on in life.
He also says in this book, which is a very small book, worth keeping as companion, 26 Steps to Spiritual and Financial Riches. So here it is, positive attitude is an inborn trait. Negative attitude is acquired. Now we wonder, is it true? Why do you say that
I say
positive
that.
attitude is
Have you ever
important?
seen the child walking down the steps? Look at the way he walks. Look at the person when he grows up, he becomes so cautious about it because he had fallen one time or the other or something has happened. The child has a very positive attitude. We keep on acquiring negative attitudes from the negative experiences of our life. Don't let them affect you. That's what I meant to say by that.
Wonderful. And then there is this formula for ultimate success. It's quite simple, really. Double your rate of failures, as you mentioned. Now, we go back to this 12 immigrants made billions. Where did you find them? How was the process of researching and getting to know these people?
I looked in the Forbes magazine, who are the people who are billionaires first, who are immigrants second, thirdly, who came into this nation with almost nothing. So all those three characters, things were kept up while analyzing these personalities.
So you personally met them or you read them?
No, I read them and I met them somehow. Some of them I met them too.
I see. So the one whom you met, what was it that you felt was different in him than others?
Well, basically when I analyzed these people, I found that if I can categorize them, it's like three different things. First thing is a positive attitude. Another one is a confidence, and third one is self-discipline. And a positive attitude, I can further subdivide it in different categories. What did they have, what others don't usually have it.
Right.
You want me to go over with it?
Yeah, a little bit.
Like I mentioned before, for the positive attitude, obstacles are one thing that you welcome. Failures are again, you double the rates of failures in life. And there's one thing which is very common amongst all the successful people, not just these people, but any successful politician or a professor or an engineer or a doctor, anything, whosoever is successful is power of persistence. That's very, very important part of this whole life. And then we keep the goals, and then we keep on reminding ourselves about that goal. And very important to keep a very high goal of your life. Don't keep small goals. Sometimes they seem like unachievable. Those are the kind of goals that you want. And then the commitment.
Yeah, I just interrupt you with the power of persistence and goal setting, etc.
Yeah.
There is this need to have confidence, and you have mentioned that also in your book, where you say that confidence allows successful people to navigate the peaks and valleys of life with zeal and enthusiasm. Now, some people are confident, you see it on their face, and some people are kind of nervous. Whatever they attempt to do, they have apprehensions whether I'll succeed or not. What is it that brings about a sense of confidence in some people and some lack it?
To build up the confidence, you need to go to the depths of the knowledge. That you need to learn everything to the extreme extent. So that builds up the confidence. The lack of knowledge is the one which creates the fear. If you're asking me, if you want to ask my practical experience of my life, I'm a real estate investor. Okay, when initially I started this business, I must have used close to about 30, 40 different attorneys. I'll take them on my car, and I'll keep on talking to them on the way as to how to do this, how to do that, and all that stuff there. And I learned so much from it that from those 30, 40 different attorneys that I have written a book on A to Z of foreclosures, which is very popular book being sold in the bookstores as well as on Amazon, that you gain knowledge. When you gain knowledge, you become fearless, and that's where you gain confidence. So lack of knowledge is a problem.
No, that is very interesting. Lack of knowledge is a problem, and very few of us are really sincere in acquiring knowledge. We just say that I want it, but we really don't work for getting knowledge. We don't ask right questions to people. We don't try to find people who would make us more knowledgeable. Now, that again requires a sense of discipline and clarity. So how would you advise one could become more disciplined and have clarity of vision in terms of what she is capable of?
I think you're asking a very important question, which can lead to success in a very big way. And why I say it's very important is that if you have a problem, let's see, we have a problem or really want to learn something, let's say even talking about real estate. You must ask the question that you have on your mind from the person who is successful in that, not just anyone. Because if you just anyone, depending on his or her experience, might encourage you or discourage you. Just see, has that person achieved the success himself? Then only ask that question. Go to the expert. Like if you have a medical problem, you try to seek the person who has done speciality in that. In the same way should apply in a sphere of life as well too. But most of us, what happens is that if you have a problem, we'll just go and ask any of our friends or anybody that we know of, and that person may guide you or misguide you depending on his own background, whether or not he has the knowledge. So restrict that question, asking somebody who is specialized in doing it. That's the answer to that question if you ask me.
So this is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas. Probably people who are expert in understanding life and the potentials that are there in all human beings are also very, very important. And looks like Dr. Harsimran Singh ji is one such expert. And I again take one quote from, I like the books that he has published. This one is attitude at the commencement of a task determines the outcome. And this is very important. When you're beginning, you already know that you are going to fail, then there are bright chances that you will fail. Now, this again varies from people to people, and sometimes the situation also creates the kind of apprehension about your possible success in your mind. How can you always have the attitude that you would be able to accomplish this task?
That is the primary thing. That if you make up a goal, think about that goal, and make sure you make yourself a commitment to succeed in this. You dream about it, you think about it, you think of the prospective problems that can ever come up, plan yourself accordingly. And even then the problems do come, then you learn from as what mistakes did I make it, and learn from them and move on to the life. There's one thing that you never leave behind is the positive attitude, no matter what. Sometimes I say that even if I'm falling from 100th floor, you know what I'm thinking on the way? That somebody's going to catch me up on the ground. I'm not going to touch the ground. That's how positive I am in life. And that's the positive spirit that I want to convey through my books to other people. That is the key to the success, positive attitude.
One becomes speechless when one hears and also hears through his eyes positive attitude. We rarely come across people who really have this conviction of sense of positivity of life. Now, there are people who say that if you are running after material gains, then you are missing out on the spiritual dimension of your life. But in your case, you have tried, or probably you have found a balance between the two. So tell me, is spirituality in some way restricting one in making more money?
No, spirituality rather helps you in making money if you want to make money. Money should not be the goal. That's not what I'm trying to say. But how it helps is spirituality builds up the inner strength. Inner strength is the one that keeps you positive or negative in life. Inner strength is the one that keeps you committed to goal. Inner strength is the one that keeps you committed to the patience and the tolerance, power of persistence. Because everything is all inner strength. If you are internally strong, everything else, its problems will come up, they'll look very small. The spirituality has a very close relationship with the finances. That's why I wrote the book, 26 Steps to Spiritual and Financial Riches, that they are both sort of combined in some way or the other. And that leads to the happiness in life as well too. You realize it. When you're spiritually happy, then you can achieve finances. Financially happy, you can achieve successes in life in a spiritual way as well too. So they both are connected.
Now, there are very few individuals who have found this connection and have applied it in their lives. And walk us through, in your case, if you are if you are thinking that you need to take care of this deadline to pay a certain amount, or whether this deal will materialize or not, then you will think more about the monetary side of it, and it will take away your attention from the whatever prayers you have for your spiritual upliftment, etc. Do you see there is a tug of war between the two? Has there been any such experience in your case?
Not at all, because you keep the priorities of life. If prayer is important part of the life, commitment is part of life, and that should be given. The problem happens is when we start giving priority to the wrong side of the life. When finances become so much important to you, you forget about the spiritual side of it, you forget about your own family, your own inner strength, your own relatives, your own friends, your other things. Keep the priorities of life and exactly do what it is right to do it for the spiritual strength of it. Spirituality is very important for success in life. I have never given finances any importance, more importance than the spirituality. Of course, the spirituality has been the most important thing. Finances do come, they come, money comes, or it doesn't come, it shouldn't be bothering you. If I'm taken off every cent that I have it, trust me, I mean it, but I'm trying to say you that, even then I'll be as happy as I am today. It won't mean anything. Richness doesn't mean anything. I'm not trying to claim I'm very rich. Please don't misunderstand from there. But spirituality is the one that gives you the inner strength.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this is a very delicate area. When you say that even if every cent is taken away, I'm still happy. So then people think, man, when money really is not what is going to make me happy, why should I run after it?
I didn't say that it doesn't make you happy, but money is a necessary part of the life, which will come if you're internally strong. But I'm saying that you should not give up the values of your life just because you want to make money in different ways.
Yeah,
the priorities must be kept. That's what I'm trying to say. Priorities must be kept. So
you should not
poor
be
people
unethical.
are not necessarily unhappy people in life. Some of the most distrusted people or unhappy people sometimes are the ones who are even committing suicides are the richest people. Why? Because they did not relate that inner strength or the spiritual strength to their finances. They didn't keep the priorities of the life properly.
So if someone watching you right now, he or she's worried about his potential career, and they wanted to opt for a certain profession and they don't succeed in getting that, or so say something about these people who are in the formulating stage of their life.
Two things. First of all, if they didn't succeed it, try to meet this person who has been successful in trying to do that and learn from that. Read the books. Unfortunate part of it is, especially amongst our Indian people, I must admit it, that they don't read as much. They believe in gossiping and passing time otherwise. You can learn a lot from the books. Okay? And this book here, if anybody contacts me, I'll be able to send them for free if somebody really needs to be helped. So learn from the experts, move on to it, and if you find that you're not successful still there is something still wrong, try to explore that. Don't get discouraged. Discouragement does not help. Keep on encouraging yourself. Keep the positive attitude. And success will eventually kiss your feet. I mean, it's just a matter of attitude. I keep on repeating it. I'm sorry, but this is how I am. Attitude is everything in life. If you keep the positive attitude, nothing is going to bother. Everything is going to fall in line with it.
Like when you go to whatever place of worship you go and there's a positivity all around the environment, you walk out feeling good about yourself. The same way when you hear such empowering, positive words from someone who says it with conviction, you feel good, you feel happy. So you say in this book, stand out, do not merge in the mainstream, become distinct, become distinguished. What do you mean by that?
I wrote it because many of our people, especially your Sikhs, wearing turban and beards, okay, they don't want to stand out in amongst the crowd, considering that, they're looking different. I say looking different is a wonderful thing. I used to work at some places whereby there were about 2,000 or 3,000 people working, and I was the only one with the beards and turban. I mean, I felt that I don't have to do anything to be different, to be standing out.
You're
already recognized. People spend so much of money, spend so much of time and energies in trying to stand out amongst the crowd. If you're already standing out without doing anything about it, bless God for it, rather than just feeling short about it.
We don't have a lot of time, but still I would like to mention this beautiful and wonderful book, which is Rich Immigrant, Poor Citizen. And subtitle says, Immigrants Teach Their Children What Citizens Don't. And immigrants find it very difficult to teach their children cultural values, and they feel that the environment takes away their ability to convey the essence of who they are to their children. From that point of view, as an immigrant, what would you say?
It's difficult for some parents to teach their values to their children. But again, if you are yourself well convinced on your values, it's so easy to pass on. But here is the difficult part of it, and what most people don't follow. Don't try to convince your children by talks, by your speeches, but let them see in your own life what you are. Like, just to tell you that my own children, both of my sons keep their hair in turban, have been grown up in this society, were born here, okay? And I write in my books here, don't be employed by someone. And none of my children, 3 children, never went for anybody to be anywhere as an employee. They are employers right from the day one that they went out of the school. That's what I teach them. That's what be self-employed to be successful in life. So I didn't have to tell them to be self-employed. They saw it, what their father does and how does he do it. They follow it up. So the best lesson to the children comes from seeing your life, not by preaching them.
So the way you live, that is the way they learn is the key of what you mentioned. And we are almost running out of time, as we always say. But I want you to comment on this quote from the book 26 Steps, where you say, the attitudes of your acquaintances are synonymous with buttons of an elevator, which will either take you up or down. What do you mean by it?
Well, the company that you keep is very important. If you have a jar full of white color and you put a little black color in it, or you put in red color into it, it will become the same. So keeping the surroundings of the positive people in your life is very important, because
sorry to interrupt, can you always choose?
Of course you have a choice as to where you're going to spend the most time with. I'm not trying to tell you that ignore the people who are negative attitude, but try to spend most of your time with the people who have similar attitude, because keeping positive surroundings is very, very important part of this whole life. Because if you don't do this, no matter how high you're thinking, trying to bring up your goals, these negative people will try to keep on discouraging you from achieving those goals. So keeping positive company is very important. That's what I meant to say. They can take you up or take you down.
Wonderful. So listening to this young man makes you feel like saying, hey, hey, because there is a sense of joy and enthusiasm, and that surges from within. The idea that life is a wonderful gift and you need to make the most out of it. And in order to do that, you need to have the right attitude. And along with that attitude, you need the kind of positive surroundings as well as companions who are encouraging. It was really encouraging to be with you, Dr. Harsimran Singh, and hope to be talking to you more on these subjects, which helps us see life the way it becomes more meaningful and enriching. Lots of good wishes for you in doing what you are doing as a motivational speaker. Thank you very much for joining
If I
us.
could help even one person, I think I feel that it was meaningful to have come here and to be interviewed. And I really appreciate your asking me so intelligent questions that I could be able to open up my heart to you.
You know, I must say that you helped one person, and there must be some more who were helped by listening to you. So it's great to be in such company. Thank you very much. Your company is also very, very important. This is Ashok Vyas. This is Wide Angle with Ashok Vyas.